allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Kilcoyne and Mrs. Oliver have been excused this morning, and that will take us to 2.2. Are there any amendments or adjustments to the agenda by the superintendent or the board members?
I have no adjustments.
Anyone else? Seeing none, I need a motion to adopt the agenda as submitted.
So moved.
Mr. Ciccarelli, second.
Second.
Mr. Cordier on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 3.1. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education awards the 2021 Capital Improvements Project Phase 1F High School Reconstruction Work, Concession Stand and Athletic Entrance, Contracts 161, 162, and 164. And Contract JOC-2024-16 as listed below. Bids opened on June 24th, 2025 in a total amount of $2,703,788. Further, that the board president is authorized to execute the agreements on behalf of the entire Board of Education. You see them listed below: general trades, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical works. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Mrs. Hepner. Second,
Second.
Mr. Cordier on the question.
I know we've been told on several occasions, but the amount that we are approving this morning, in relationship to what was already included in the budget, where are we again?
That, this project for these right here, that bidding number came around right where we were at 2.7 was what we were estimating.
Okay.
And actually, quite honestly, that's gonna be the high end of it. There'll be a few things that'll probably come out as we get to fine tuning it, so we're
So
getting
in
really
light of
strong.
everything that's going on in building and trades,
We're doing
we
good.
are pretty much right on what was originally planned for.
Yeah, we're actually doing very well. Not only are we doing well money-wise, we're also doing amazingly well time-wise. We think that we have a plan that we're gonna get this done possibly a year in advance of our targeted window, which will save us managerial and interest money. We also have the preliminary scope and drawings for our performing arts centers as a concept drawing for the next phase. And if we get out of this a year earlier, we can move into that because our MCAs will reset. Dr. Thuman and I, Thursday, when did we go?
Last Wednesday or Thursday.
Last Wednesday or Thursday, we took a ride down to Pioneer Central Schools to take a look at their brand new performing arts, of which our architects are the same as theirs. A lot of ideas that we took out of there as well.
And that's close to being completed,
It
correct?
is, it's 99% done, yeah, so.
Really nice.
So we took a look at that as well. So I would say that the actions of this board and this district to advance 100% of the work that was promised into this contract is on target to be done, but not only to be done, a year in advance.
And on budget or less.
Yeah. And with some significant upgrades to what was originally drawn out, so, yeah. And a lot of that credit goes not only to the diligence of this board, but also to our architects and our construction managers working with us closely on what we're adding, what we're eliminating, and those type of things, so.
Are we also finding out that we have people on staff that can perform duties far beyond what we might have originally expected?
Well, there's two things that are somewhat remarkable, to be honest with you. The new Falcon Center is gonna be done probably, about 75% by our own people, which is
Yeah.
a significant cost savings. And the prudent move by the board to create those two reserves to assist on the back end of this contract is gonna be critical as well, so.
I think it's important that we recognize those individuals who may very well have, put it this way, they have performed admirably for us and saved us a lot of money, at the same time providing quality work and getting things done on time.
I agree, Mr. Chicarelli.
I would agree with you, Mr. Ciccarelli. Sometimes because our organization is so large, we lose sight of some of that. And we certainly want people to feel like they belong and contribute to the district, and I think your words are well spoken. I had a couple of questions, but superintendent did answer them. One of mine was that the birds in here look like eagles, not falcons, and being not an ornithologist, but somebody who's lived with falcons for 40 years, want to see the right bird out there.
Dr. Thurman will share with you that we have reminded campus construction that these birds are not to look like anything but a falcon. So they're being mocked up
The
now.
anatomy of falcons and eagles, we know way too much about.
Yeah. Size, wing distance, spread, head size, yeah, we have learned a lot about the
They
falcon.
are the smallest of the hawks, and they're female. The tercel is the male. Well, moving right along.
Well, I'm glad we're not in Frontier ourselves.
All in favor?
All this time, we had the wrong name.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I knew that would wake everyone up this morning.
Because the seeker's gonna put you back to sleep.
Of course. 3.2, a resolution dated July 15th, 2025 of the Board of Education of the Frontier Central School District, Erie County, New York, the district, declaring the district's proposed emergency capital project involving necessary and immediate measures to address the significant and unexpected failure of the Blaisdell Elementary School Building main water supply line to be a type 2 action under seeker. And I'll let you read down to the bottom. Now therefore, be it resolved that it is the final determination that the district's board is the lead agency for the review of the proposed action, that the proposed emergency capital project is a type 2 action that is not subject to review under seeker, and the proposed action will not result in a significant adverse impact on the environment. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Cordier, second.
Second.
Mr. Voto on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. 3.3, a resolution dated July 15th, 2025 of the Board of Education of the Frontier Central School District, Erie County, New York, the district, finding and declaring the existence of an emergency situation arising out of sight and unexpected failure of the Blaisdell Elementary School Building main water supply line, and authorizing an emergency capital improvements project to address the situation in order to ensure the health and safety of the district employees and students and members of the public, and the protection and preservation of district facilities and property. Resolved that the superintendent of schools, the assistant superintendent for finance and operations, and other appropriate district officials be and they hereby are authorized to work with the architect to develop and complete the plans and specifications for the emergency capital project to solicit, in accordance with the State Education Department guidance, cost proposals, quotes, bids for the work on the emergency capital project, to enter into, in the case of the superintendent only, contracts for the work on the emergency capital project on behalf of the district, and to undertake such other actions as may be reasonably necessary for the district to undertake, carry out, and complete the emergency capital project as soon as reasonably practicable all in accordance with applicable New York State law. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Chicarelli, second.
Second.
Mrs. Hefner, on the question. I have a question. Is this the sole responsibility of the district, or is the village of Blaisdell any help in any of this?
The village really doesn't do anything with it, the county.
The county.
When we get that, the only way the county gets involved is where it connects to the main line at the road. So when we get to that connection, if there's an issue there, then the county gets involved to fix that connection, but from there in, just like your house, it's under your yard, it's ours.
So the people we consult with, believe that the $125,000 is the ceiling
Yeah,
of what this work is
It's
gonna
a
cost?
very, it's a very high.
it's a high
Very-
ceiling, that's your architecture fees, your engineering fees, the construction, plus the emergency, the guys that we owe for coming and shutting it off the day it leaked.
And
So
some
they
of this
don't.
is reimbursable after the fact?
That's what this does.
It is, and we received a bid of what, 60?
64,000 to actually finish the
64,000.
line work.
From Demore to actually do the line
Yeah.
work, so we have some room here.
And it's not going to affect the work that's been previously
No,
done?
not at all, no, well, the one thing, so that the board does know, we're a little worried. The span, if you can remember how Blaisdell works, there's a grass area where it comes into the corner. There's probably a 18-foot blacktop span that they're gonna try and push it, but because of the depth of it, it's at
9 feet. Yeah.
because it's at 9 feet, they don't know if they're gonna be able to push it. So they may have to cut it, which bothers me, cause we just laid that blacktop. And then, of course, they would repair it, so they're gonna try and push it, but they may have to cut wide enough to get that pipe down, yeah. The other thing that we're concerned about is for those board members, prior when we were building at Blaisdell, there is a incredibly amount of complicated connections at South Park. Both power lines, water lines, sewer lines, so we are worried once we get there, what we're gonna run into within 10 feet of South Park.
Well, the only bonus to that is, talking with the architects, is we know it all because we ran into a lot of those already. We didn't replace that line, but we did replace some other lines and the fiber and stuff coming in, which was right next to it, so they're pretty good, they think they got it mapped out that we can get through. But you're right, once you get down 9 feet, there could be other stuff deeper that we didn't see. So that's why we have that cushion, just if there's something else the county or Blaisdell does have to get involved in, but something utility wise, then we got some money protected for it.
And there's no problem in making sure it's done for September?
No, that work will get done.
Yeah, we'll call, as soon as you guys approve it, I'll call them today and they'll be probably out there this week starting.
Yeah, they'll get on it quick.
They'll be on it right away.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Discussion regarding the 10-month assistant principal position at the middle school. Mr. Switek.
I do, I have a question, and then it will be, depending on the yes or no, it'll then become an executive session item because it will be contractual and salary. So, I'm asking the board if, there is interest, in having a discussion, about the changing of the 10-month TOSA position at the middle school, okay? And converting it into a 10-month AP position to allow a greater latitude of duties at the middle school. So for open session, I'm asking the board if you would like to entertain that conversation. If not, there's no reason to go to executive session.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, us not going into discussion or further looking into this, the position formerly known as a TOSA at the middle school no longer
It
exists.
sunsets, correct. The position
And we have no
sunsets.
one to perform those duties. I mean, we don't have, the way we're gonna deal with it is by creating such
We would have to create something and or live without it. Either way, that position has sunsetted after 2 years, okay? Because there's some contractual elements here, we can't have this conversation right in the open. But if the board is not interested in that conversation, I completely understand, and it's a dead issue.
Well, in regard to other middle schools the same size as Frontier Middle School, how many of those schools have got a principal and 3 assistants?
Ooh, that's a tough question, Mr. Voto. I don't know the exact answer to that. I can say if I know, West Seneca has 2 middle schools. Orchard Park has 2, I think, 2.
assistants, but they're probably not as large as us, are they?
Oh, no, they're almost identical within, I
What
mean,
about Lancaster?
Lancaster's significantly bigger than we are. They've got about 1,000 more kids than we do. I would say the closest size-wise absolutely is Orchard Park. I think district-wide, the spread might be around 100, 150 kids. West Seneca has 2 middle schools. Lancaster's, like I said, about 30% bigger than we are. Williamsville has 3 middle schools, but they're, right? So I'd have to do some research for you on that one.
How many students do we expect to have in September at the middle school?
We're averaging about 300, right around 350 a grade level, so probably $1,000 to $1,100-ish.
Right.
Somewhere there.
1025, 1050 is the number, yeah.
And we have received periodic data showing us the effects of having that position.
Yeah, so part of the TOSA agreement with the Board of Education 2 years ago is that every 10 weeks, the board would receive an update on the feasibility and the effectiveness of the position, okay? The middle school assistant principals and, Dr. Thuman was the author of it. They really believe in it. They think they've made it. I think she's done a tremendous job there. What I'm concerned about is 2 things. The new cell phone piece that's gonna come our way, or the digital device piece, which is gonna be a critical element within the first 90 days. We gotta do this right in the first 90 days. The second piece is the new initiatives that the board's gonna hear at the retreat in attendance for both the middle school and the high school, actually K-12, which I think we're gonna have to dedicate more time for an individual for attendance tracking, communication, and work in collaboration with our guidance counselors a little bit stronger than we have in the past. However, the third piece and the elephant in the room is if the middle school receives the assistance or at par stays the way they are, the high school's sitting on 350 more kids than the middle school. Therefore, what do we pilot at the high school in order to give them the support that they need as well?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah.
My thinking is, in light of the fact that we have a new principal going to that building, I'm not quite so sure the time to reduce staff, because it seems to have been working. Time to reduce staff is now. In light of all of in light of the changes that you just pointed out.
So I have to come to the board to ask for authority for the creation of the position, because the board only gave the district a 2-year window on this.
So either the TOSA's gonna go away, or you're gonna have another assistant principal.
Right.
Or nothing
nothing.
at all.
Or nothing at
at
all.
all, yeah, or nothing at all, yeah.
I think also we should keep in mind that we just went through a situation where we did not rehire some retirement positions. So the optics of this may be misconstrued in regard to what's going on, where we didn't rehire some teaching positions, and now we're looking to make a TOSA job a full-time assistant principal job.
It would. There are some concerns contractually, which I can't go into here. Financially, it's a zero gain either way, okay? It's just a change of a position from unit to unit is essentially what it would be.
So is the next move here to take this to executive
The
session?
next move, if the board wants further conversation, then it becomes a contractual item, and then it will go into executive session.
I recommend we take this to executive session.
I would agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So at this time, I need a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Mr. Cordier, second.
Second.
Mrs. Hefner, on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Shall we take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask Chris and Colleen to stay with us for executive session if the board doesn't mind.
See ya.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're good.
All set? Yep, we're good.
Oh, okay.
She's an attorney, but that's about 10 minutes.
She is.
Yeah, I agree. Next to Tom.
She's a teacher at Blaisdell.
Yeah, you hit the number, it's 1043,
Oh,
1,000.
yeah, good, good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I updated the class link, so